Nissan and Honda merger is a desperate move. Carlos Ghosn was never one to pull his punches. Even at the peak of his power at the helm of one of the world's largest automakers, he always had a lot to say. So, following his daring escape from Japanese prosecution for alleged financial crimes, nobody should have expected the former Nissan-Renault boss in exile to just chill on a yacht somewhere. Well, he had one, but he had to give it back. Now, Ghosn is back in the public eye to weigh in on Nissan's potential merger with Honda, and he hasn't lost his fiery touch. You may not care what Ghosn has to say about Nissan or anything anymore, especially since he hasn't been involved with the automaker since his 2018 arrest in Japan, and subsequent flight from prosecution about a year after that. But I'd argue few people on earth know Nissan like Ghosn does, and few people know about mergers to save Nissan like Ghosn does. After all, Ghosn was a top executive at Renault in 1999 when it formed the Nissan-Renault Alliance. An odd cross-continental team-up that rescued Nissan was on the brink of bankruptcy. Nissan's problems back then should sound familiar: an unsustainable focus on volume, forgettable models, a hangover from a financial crisis, and so on. He would soon lead both companies to a surprising degree of financial and sales success, until his downfall. Now Nissan is in crisis again. It's the poster child for how far behind the Japanese auto industry is technologically, and for how much ground it's losing to new, high-tech players in China. Japan Inc. needs capital and expertise to deliver a future focused on batteries and software, and Honda, despite being in much better shape these days, has been called upon to help make that happen. Merger talks could start as soon as Monday, according to reports. But Ghosn told Bloomberg he doesn't see the point. It's a desperate move, Ghosn said Friday on Bloomberg television. It's not a pragmatic deal, because frankly, the synergies between the two companies are difficult to find. Nissan and Honda operate in the same markets with similar brands and products, Ghosn said, casting doubt on the merits of the two combining. He believes Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry has pushed Honda to go forward with a deal. They're trying to figure out something that could marry the short-term problems of Nissan and the long-term vision of Honda, Ghosn said. While there is no industrial logic to a deal, there is a moment where you have to choose between performance and control. It's also worth noting here that Ghosn is hardly some benevolent, unbiased actor. He has maintained both his innocence and a huge axe to grind against Nissan since his departure, and has spent the years since railing against the automaker's management and failures in the marketplace. But he's right that synergies are hard to find here in Nissan and Renault's case. The alliance was a tight partnership between two giants that often operated in very different markets and wasn't an outright merger. Neither Japan nor the French government, which partially owns Renault, ever seemed good with that. But Honda and Nissan are direct competitors basically everywhere and in every segment. How does this make sense for Honda in particular? Ghosn also addressed the reports that this merger was prompted by interest in Nissan from Taiwanese electronics giant and iPhone manufacturer Foxconn, which has wanted to get into the car-making game for some time. The current thinking by many industry watchers is the Japanese government is moving this along to protect some of its most important companies from foreign control. But Ghosn warned Foxconn will be back somewhere. I can understand that a company like Foxconn, headed by very serious and realistic management, is going to say, you know what, instead of us investing to do our own electric car, let's buy a car company, Ghosn said. They're not going to be the only one to try to do that. Source, reposted and summarized from @insideevs.